On November 5th, 2011, a group of 200 kids and their parents excitedly gathered in the Old Dominion University Theater in Norfolk, Virginia, to witness Science Alliance Live, an all-new theatrical experience that combined live theater and interactive science. First, the kids watched two fun and short plays. Took in the Arctic, about sea ice researcher Victoria Hill and her Canadian Inuit dog, Took. And Enzo Murray, girl science reporter, about ODU marine biologist Fred Dobbs and his young neighbor Enzo, who's trying her best to get the scoop on harmful bacteria in local tidal waters. After the plays, the kids got to get their hands dirty, literally, in the lobby of the theater where interactive science experiments were underway. It was a great day for kids, parents, and teachers alike as everyone came away not only having had loads of fun, but having learned exciting lessons about science and climate change. The project is the brainchild of 4 ODU professors and researchers: Jennifer Alonso from theater, Victoria Hill and Fred Dobbs from oceanography and atmospheric sciences, and instructional designer Amy Adcock. This brief program is about how the project came to be and where these 4 ambitious researchers plan to take it from here.
Because I was interested in becoming involved in the climate change initiative, one of the things that I said I was interested in was making plays about research that happened at ODU that could connect families and children to local research, because my perception was that the scientists are really, really good at talking to each other, but sometimes not so good at talking to the public.
As a scientist, it can be difficult to get out there and tell people about your research. And I can go to schools and I can show slides of my field trips, and there's some really pretty pictures and it gets students excited. But I want to do more.
I just thought that maybe theater really has a place in this initiative, and sometimes with these kinds of initiatives, the arts are left out, and what the arts can do more than anything else is really communicate to people in a way that they can hear and understand. And so I thought, well, maybe theater has a role in our community in helping the climate change researchers talk about what they do.
What are you doing today?
Well, today is mostly about testing my scientific instruments.
What instruments do you have here?
Well, this is my ice core. I use it to take samples from the ice to examine for sea dome.
That's what we're hoping. It's a hypothesis that this marriage of theater and science will provide a springboard for kids who might not otherwise take hold to science, its graphs, its quantitative reasoning, and maybe get them more interested in it. Our point is to have them be exposed to the way scientists think and the way they think about the world, and maybe just bring a little piece of that back home with them.
I'm standing here with one of the most dangerous bacteria known to man. Only half of the people who get a hold of this bad bug can expect to survive. So, Mr. Vibrio vulnificus, what do you have to say for yourself?
Call me the bad bug. I live in the shellfish you all love to eat. I live in the water you all love to swim in. I can't wait to come and get you. Your flesh is delicious.
I've been in the field for over 15 years, and I've never seen anyone do a combination of live plays with supplemental educational materials. And it's my job to design those educational materials, and I think this project is extremely innovative. It creates a great way for kids to learn about climate change in a non-threatening environment where they'll have some fun.
The first of the 2 plays is called Took in the Arctic. It's about a Canadian Inuit dog named Took.
Hello there. I'm supposed to watch out for bears. Polar bears. Polar bears are big. You look too little to be polar bears. Are you bears? Are you sure? Okay then, welcome to the Arctic Science Camp. We're all the way up at the top of the world. This is one of the coldest and windiest and snowiest places on Earth. Aren't you cold? You must be used to the Arctic like me, although it doesn't look like you have enough fur to survive out here. Anyways, if you're going to be a part of this camp, you have to have a job to do. So what could your job be? Maybe you could help me. Do you think you could help me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Whenever you see a bear, I want you to shout, "Polar bear, gosh bear!" Okay, let's practice. I'll be the bear.
I'm a big old polar bear looking round in the ice and stuff.
Oh, great. Thanks so much. I am so glad to have your help.
Took bravely guards the research camp from polar bears, and he's also key to camp morale. He keeps Dr. Hill from getting too homesick and helps her with research about sea ice melting.
Victoria, I think you better get started. It sounds like we have a big problem if the ice is melting. If the ice melts, what will happen to me? The ice is where I live. It's where I do my jobs. I have responsibilities here.
That's right, Took. Our home is changing faster than it ever has before. We're back
The camp chef, Aga Nanook, is kind and friendly and always ready to dole out chocolate treats and bedtime stories.
Aga, Victoria was feeling homesick.
Oh, were you, Victoria?
Yes, but Took helped me with that.
But she has another problem that I can't help her with. She has eaten all of her chocolate already.
Well, I thought I brought a lot, but I get so hungry.
Your body has to work extra hard to stay warm up here. You need to eat extra chocolate.
I do?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love chocolate.
Here are some of my special chocolate oat bars. Now take as many as you like. Come and see me if you need more.
Oh, Aga, thank you.
Now, it's time for you to get some sleep. You need to work extra hard tomorrow.
You're right, Aga. Good night, Took.
Good night, Victoria.
Good night, Aga.
Somebody was gonna steal these oat bars, but I stopped them.
If you heal this bear, I will make you a great hunter. Then the boy took the arrow from the cub's side. The boy stayed with the cub for 2 months, bringing him food and keeping him safe while he healed.
Took learns about the importance of good stewardship and of doing small things to contribute to the bigger picture.
I think we'll need lots of kids to grow up to be great scientists like Dr. Hill. Are there any kids out there who want to help? That's great! Let's go! Meet me in the studio to test the salinity of some ice samples.
Well, I think that just being able to see live theatre is great. And I think you always come away with it's more exciting, you have a better time. And so hopefully they'll get to interact with the actors and the puppets. And then they'll be able to go backstage afterwards and we'll be able to show them how to take an ice core and measure salinity and use the glow powder to see how well they wash their hands. And I think that if the students can do something more physical, then they take away some of that knowledge, much more so than reading a book or watching a TV program.
So by adding elements that are fun, like the live plays and the activities and the online games, we're really creating a space where the kids are engaged with the material. And we sometimes call this stealth learning, where they're learning without really knowing they're learning. We create these spaces where they can find new information or maybe recognize things that they've already seen or know about, and they do this in a fun and engaging way. They don't even know they're learning.
I think theater's effect, because it is live, and this project in particular, because the kids are going to be able to be in the theater, hear Victoria, the actor Victoria, talking about the Arctic, and then they're going to go meet the actors. They're going to be able to touch the dog. They're going to be able to see how we did it. And then they're going to be able to actually go do the experiments and meet the real Victoria. So they're going to have a much more layered experience. They're going to be able to touch things. They're going to be able to interact with things. They're going to be able to do the things. So that is a to me, much more significant experience than watching something on television.
Let's go!
The second play is called Enzo Murray, Girl Science Reporter. It tells the story of a young girl who is anxious to explore the world around her and report on it. At times, though, she's torn between the allure and dazzle of the media and her love of investigation and science.
Hi, I'm Enzo. I know, it's a funny name. I'm named after the pizza place where my parents met. What's kind of cool about the pizza place is that it used to be a newspaper reporter's office. But what's really cool is that the most famous reporter was a woman, a girl, like me. That's what I am, a girl reporter. I'm a special kind of reporter, an investigative reporter. That means I solve mysteries. I find the story behind the story. Look, there's all this stuff on top of the water. Yuck, that's why we don't swim out here. And there's a whole bunch of bugs. And sometimes the fish will just jump up and eat the bugs. It's kind of weird.
Hi, Enzo.
Oh, that's Roberta Lynn Robinson. She lives in the billboard up there. It's her job to keep the town informed of what's going on. She's really famous. I want to be just like her someday. Everyone listens to her and everyone loves her.
Enzo's next-door neighbor is Dr. Fred Dobbs, a marine biologist studying dangerous pollutants in local waters.
Microbial pollution?
Microbial is just a scientific word. It means viruses and bacteria. Germs.
Whoa. You mean we might get sick from swimming in the water?
Yes.
Enzo helps Fred collect water samples from the river and then take them back to his lab for testing.
So should I get these water samples out?
Great. Let's pour them into this.
Wow, there's like 50 different wells in this thing. It's like a pack of gum. Here, do you want some?
No. Not while I'm handling this water. Okay. Start right here. Going down the line. Okay.
So what do we do next?
Well, we need to come back tomorrow to see if the bacteria have reacted with the chemical in the wells.
Is it okay if I stick around here for a little bit?
Sure. Just don't touch anything, especially these petri dishes. I have a bunch of Vibrio vulnificus growing in them.
But when Enzo's curiosity gets the better of her, she inadvertently unleashes the bad bug.
I'm ugly, and I'll make you all ugly too.
Whoa, you are huge. You are disgusting, and yet strangely fascinating. You are one bad bug.
Vibrio vulnificus at your service. I love warm water. In a couple of decades, the Chesapeake Bay is gonna be a perfect home during the summer.
Fred, would the bacteria you had in the petri dishes glow under a black light too?
Yes, those particular ones will make bacteria fluoresce. Yes.
Fred, I took one and I opened it.
Well, let's turn on the big black light and we can see the damage. Oh, wow. It looks like you shook hands with a bad bug.
Yeah, I guess I did. I'm really sorry.
Well, Enzo, we wouldn't call it research if we knew it was going to happen all the time. What do you think we should do?
Well, I guess we should wash up around here.
Starting with your hands.
Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day, dear planet. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day, dear planet. Happy Earth Day to you.
There you go.
Vibrio vulnificus is a really bad bug. It kills half the people it infects. It can infect us either through a wound in our skin, such as a fisherman gets when a crab pot nicks him, or we can get it if we eat oysters that have concentrated the bacteria.
Armed with the knowledge of how to defeat the bad bug, Enzo is prepared the next time he shows up.
Great reporting, Enzo. You know, I think you would make a great scientist, too.
Maybe I can do both for a while.
That would be great. We need kids like you and the other kids in your neighborhood to learn about science and become scientists so that we can adapt to our changing world.
I guess I can work on not blowing things out of proportion and thinking more like a scientist. Thanks, Fred. Bye, Fred.
Bye, Enzo.
Wow, that was awesome. I can't wait to get started doing more data collection. Meet me in the lobby after the show for some more data collection on how well people wash their hands. Bye.
After the plays, the kids and their parents got to participate in more hands-on activities in the theater lobby. There were blacklight hand-washing experiments, ice coring and salinity experiments, opportunities to meet the actors, and interviews with the media to talk about what they had learned.
They're more interested in it versus reading out of a book. I liked how they had the show and then you were able to come out afterwards and do the experiment. Very informative, yes. So what do you guys want to be when you grow up?
Scientist. A scientist.
What job do you think you would have in the Arctic?
Scaring away the polar bears.
I think it's a way to make the science much more accessible to kids and to adults.
What was your favorite part?
When the big bug came.
The big bug? Did it scare you?
No.
She actually had ideas while the play was going on of how we could go home and collect leaves and look at them and decide. We'll collect data later as to the shapes and sizes.
Oh, I think it's an exciting way to do it. The kids had a good time learning about it, and it sticks, because I know we'll be talking about it tonight at dinner.
There was even a green screen set up to let kids imagine themselves up at the Arctic Science Camp.
There's a lot of evidence that shows that when we present learners with information in the actual real world where it's practiced, that it sticks a lot better. And so this is the power of using the narrative of the plays and putting them in a situation that's exactly like what happens in the Arctic with the research or in the laboratory with the research. This building in this context helps the kids make relationships so that they learn, and not only do they learn, but it sticks much better and they remember it much longer.
Trying to reach kids in a way and in modalities that just weren't around when I was a kid, for example. They didn't exist. And I think the point here is to take advantage of what kids are so intuitive with, using that ability that the kids have nowadays, and transferring our scientific message to it either through theater or our associated hands-on activities is a way that we hope we can interest more kids.
And I'm hoping that in part through Science Alliance Live and the plays that we're going to show, they can see that you go to these places and you make measurements, and the truth is what the observations tell you. So I'm hoping that we can teach them to teach themselves. Go out there and find out what's going on for yourself.
So I talked about homo neurons, this idea that we're storytelling beings. And I think sometimes as we grow up, we lose that a little bit, or we think that stories are for kids, or that theater is for kids, or that, crafts are for kids. And the kids haven't lost that yet. They you ask a room full of 5-year-olds, who in here is an artist, and they're all gonna raise their hands. But you know what? They're all also gonna raise their hands when you ask who is a scientist. And so for me, putting those two things together in the theater is really important. It ties it together in their mind so that when they're thinking later on, I hope that when they're thinking scientifically, they're also allowing themselves to think creatively. I think Fred and Victoria were just as uncomfortable as I was. Like, wow, we're gonna spend a lot of time writing this grant, and it's weird. A theater person collaborating with an education person and with two scientists, that is a weird project. And probably what we're gonna get is no thank you, too weird. And instead what we got was, yes, please, more of this.